Alright, a wonderful good morning everybody and welcome back to my channel. Still brewing around with Jeskai control this time around because, and this is also a prediction for the post-Hogang meta, Mono Red is just gonna overtake and it's also gonna be a menace. Lavador already pushed out basically all the, together with Ren and 6, which I both think should not be in modern, but that's another discussion. Pushed out all the 1 toughness creatures. You barely see any noble hierarchs anymore. Humans is just a dead deck by now. And everything that's slower than turn 3 and or has no interaction is basically not in the format. A usual league here on Modo looks like you're playing 1 or 2 Hogarks, at least 2, maybe 3 Mono Red, either Burn, Phoenix, or Prowess, but everything pretty similar in the cards that they are playing. And then you play one random deck. But I've never or hardly ever seen a modern meta being so homogeneous, and that's really, I don't know, I don't really like it. But we're here to fight the good fight, and in order to do that, I took out the Vanillion clicks because in the especially in the mono red matchups, it just felt horrendous to have it on the battlefield and just be always killed with a lava dart. So even not even being card disadvantage or anything for an opponent, not even trading 1 for 1, but like 1/2 for 1. And therefore we got spell Spellquellers also because not only they do have 3 toughness, but also because they exiled, so sometimes it's just strictly better than having it in the graveyard, or oftentimes it is. Then in the sideboard I also do have Detention Fears because I actually wanted to consistently get rid of both multiple threats as well as artifacts, and Braid didn't really cut it for me there. We're seeing Absorb being back in modern. Certainly not a card that you would normally play, but as I said, in this very aggressive format, every 3 mana, that's also why Lightning Helix is maxed out here, and just a very good card right now. 3 life gain is basically an extra card, so that way we're basically generating card advantage. Then we have Sphinx Revelation as our real card advantage engine and win condition, and we have Archangel Avenging, so sometimes just blow our opponent out. It's also great to just have a creature that they probably can't kill on the stack, and then we can just block something, and having 4 power will kill most creatures, also blocks Phoenixes pretty well, so that's pretty good. And then if they kill, like most of the time we only have 1 or 2 other creatures on the battlefield when Avancine comes, so if they kill one of them, or we kill one of them ourselves, so that we have a Wrath effect and whatever. Chandra has been moved to the sideboard again. Very good in control matchups, of course, but very, very bad in all the very fast matchups, so I just push her to the side. It's not the right meta for her to be in the main. Nonetheless, very, very strong card. So let's jump into a league here. Modern challenge? Nope. Alright. And see what we're going to be playing against. The problem is also that most people tend to favor very aggressive and very fast decks. Like, most people are not the controlling types. So if you have such a strong deck in the meta, then proportionally more people are going to play it than they would be playing, I don't know, Jeskai, Griggs Control, whatever, if that was going to be so strong in the meta. I think we can keep this. We have 2-3 spells of interaction, then a spell queller, and already, even if we just draw lands, we do have a decent top end. And of course we're playing against Tron again. It's insane. Maybe it's the time, I'm not sure. It's literally like whenever I'm not recording, I'm not seeing any Tron decks. As soon as I start recording. So it's either natural Tron here or we're playing against Eldrazi Tron. Eldrazi Tron would probably be something that we could deal with. But I don't necessarily want to play against Green Tron. And this is somewhat awkward. Like our opponent just playing random Tron lands without having access to Tron and no place whatsoever. So this makes me think that we're actually playing against Eldrazi Tron, but that's probably just wishful thinking here. I'm accumulating as many lands as I can to somehow either evade a... Alright. Korn the Great Creator. Well, it's a little risky to go with the Spell Queller here. Because if it's Eldrazi Tron, which I think by now, they probably have some sort of interaction. And then our Spell Queller might just die. To a Dismember. But we shall see. No, it's still a Green Tron. Okay. I can't believe that anyone would keep a hand with 3 mines, a tower, and 0 spells being played before turn 4. But do what you want to do. Alright, Steam Vents here, tapped. That was a little bit too much of a logic knot. I just, like in that very second, I had a lot. Another tower in mind. So he'll be probably going with 2 here. Then he has 9 mana. And could be costly what I did with the Logic Knot. Otherwise, we could go Bolt Snap Bolt, where he probably has a couple of good payoff cards as well. And he's probably also gonna go after the Karn. Also, for anyone still playing Planeswalkers, so I've been testing Narset in between to especially get a hold of all the decks that are generating card advantage through looting. But that, dude, what the fuck do you have in hand? But that was just a non-starter, so I stand by the decision that I do not want to bring. Another card. No clue what's going on here. No clue what's going on. Alright, so he wants to lattice us next turn. We could, like, let's see. If we go Bolt Snap Bolt, it's going down to 4. I think we're taking the time here. So I want to keep him at bay, but I don't want to necessarily kill it. I would like it to be... he's probably going for Sanctum of Ugin. Last zone, interesting. Still very, very weird game here. Alright, so there's a Karn, which I'm definitely gonna absorb. Now he's probably thinking about going with Lattice here. Could also be going with, say, a Wonqual engine. But I think we've shown some sort of weakness. Ensnaring Bridge. Okay. And then what? Alright. Do have another one. Sure. Is there a benefit of not killing the Karn here? Potentially have 12 damage in hand. 11. Sorry. Need to get rid of the bridge first, but he will blast zone probably to 3. It's weird to choose a permanent that, you know, you're looking for. But I think as long as we're not being hit by Ulamog. It's kind of risky. Super weird. I mean, obviously, the bridge is a problem. So 4, 7, then he has 4 mana left. 5, 6. I guess it's alright. I shouldn't have tapped the mountain there. Another Karn. Cool. Sure. Mm. So Karn can probably fetch. It's better for us to just kill the Karn right here. Probably because. Yeah. Well, 9 puts him down to 7. Counter whatever he does. Spends 6 mana. Could still destroy the spell queller. Yeah, I think I'm just accumulating damage in hand now. Again, a very good spot for Rabbit, by the way. Maybe we should also just be playing Karn and Wishboard. Probably better than Jace. There's the lattice. Alright. So he's still got 5 mana. Yeah, we're gonna go counter draw in this instance, I think. The lattice is gone. Because otherwise it just pops the Oblivion Stone and then it's gonna get the Karn back. Alright. So he's got not enough mana to go with either Oblivion Stone or Blast Stone. There's a tower. If we just could attack for 1 or 2 hits. Alright, there's another Snapcaster. Alright, so now we're trying to set it up this next turn. The Oblivion Stone, of course, is somewhat annoying. Well, with the tower, things are different. Sure. Alright. So, I think we got, if we go Snapcaster, Swings as Rev, Snapcaster and Snaring Bridge. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with Snap, go Cryptic the Bridge. He might pop the Oblivion Stone, but that's alright because he's gonna lose the Karn in the process. Or 1 Karn at least. So it's not even such a bad trade here, especially because now we can attack the Karn with our Colonnade if we want to. I don't think that he actually thought this through. So now they do have a Karn plus a bridge in. Oh, what's going on? Everything but attacking the Karn here is probably preposterous and won't make him suspicious. But then we can't be countering the bridge because that's just too much. I'm actually thinking about, like, what does he want to do? If he ticks down, then we could just bolt it. Could also go put him to 12. What's the worst thing? Like, Gladys is gone. What's the worst thing that can happen to us? Put him down to 12 and then we get 12 damage in hand, right? So I think that's what we're gonna do. Don't care about the bridge anymore. We have potentially lethal. Unless he's got something great with a car in there. But he doesn't. Alright. I think that should be it. GG, Tron opponent, GG. So I want to maintain most of our stuff here. I think many of the cards here are pretty alright. Probably want to have a Dovin's Veto, and I could also see bringing Stony Silence. Stony just for the Oblivion Stone, although that of course doesn't protect us from do I want to take a burn? Like, he's definitely gonna bring in Thragtusks, although with the Wish board he probably doesn't even have as much stuff. So I think we can cut one path. Probably one Helix, one Prohibit, one Spell Queller. Or is everything that, yeah, everything that Prohibit is good against, Dovin's Veto in this case is also good against, therefore that's alright. D-Sphere, no. Yeah, I think this way we're gonna go. Nope. Batshit crazy hand. My goodness. Alright, let's keep. So I'm gonna get rid of a couple of our basics here. Yeah, I was like, opponent, you won't be having a turn 4 Karn as your best play again, right? Alright. LOL. This person, what the fuck? Oh my goodness. How can you be so greedy? But I've actually seen a lot of Trump players, yeah, just waiting for the second land so they can then go with stirrings. Yeah, scrying, sure. Super lucky there. Alright. So, probably gonna be hit by a Karn here, otherwise he wouldn't have done it. And by Karn, I mean the big Karn. Map, sure. Another map. Sure. So I think probably pretty good would be a Stony Silence here. Because if he didn't have anything good there, then he either has Ugin or nothing. At least nothing that he can utilize without green. Yeah, that's what I thought. Probably a Thragtusk. Some of that thought assault. For game 3, I'm considering bringing in Chandra. Chandra's pretty good against... If he had an Ulamog in hand, then he would have probably done that there. Chandra is pretty good to check other planeswalkers as well, and you can only get rid of her with the Karn. Or by killing Zugin. Well, our opponent pretty slow. We'll try to stay alive here as long as we can. Yeah, I'm gonna counter that, knowing that he's still got 7 mana up to potentially go either with another small Karn or with no fucking way. This card is so retarded. Now we lost. Fuck. Fuck you. Alright, so definitely bringing in the other spell queller again. What a motherfucker. And I think I'm also going to bring in Prohibit here, because that's also pretty good against Veil of Summer. Come on, more mulligans, opponent. The good thing is that Dovin's Veto can't be countered. Well, no, actually, Veil of Summer is even stronger than that. It's not a counter, it just makes things uncounterable. What a retarded card for 1 mana. We don't get anything like that. Like, Veil of Summer is the same as having Ceremonious Rejection and then also have a draw card. Which I think is just absolutely bananas. So we got 5 mana, so I'll need to get to Avanson here first. Force turn 3 Tron. What do you have, opponent? Stars. So I guess he's going with the same tactics as last time around. Now he's got a Wormhole Engine. Great. Now that I haven't seen it for 2 games and actually got lucky here. One has to admit that as well, if it's the case, and this time around we got a little lucky here. So I don't think that cryptic command does us anything that the Windows doesn't do. So 4, 5. He doesn't have both yet though. Okay. Alright. So I guess he's gonna get a blast zone again with the expedition map. Could also get a Sanctum of Ugin. Where's this tower? Interesting. Sadly, Avansin. I can't really counter this because he could still lattice us afterwards. Of course, we could Dovin's Veto the Ancient Sphearings and then go with Lightning Helix after Wizard, if that was to be the case. But I want to get Amundsen onto the battlefield, if possible. Corvin the Great Creator. So let's see if he's going to bring in... I'm going to let Karn resolve again. Okay. Never mind. So now, I actually would like to see... another land. That would be great. Logic Knot could do the trick if we're lucky. Plan, sure. 6, 4, 6, 4. Huh. Alright, so he's definitely developing something here. I'm going to go just fill up the graveyard a little bit. Two Vetos isn't the worst. This probably looks to be his move here. So if he has two, what's the worst thing that can happen here? If he goes with the lattice, we lose anyway. If he goes with, like, let's say he has another card in hand and the Veil Summer, that's 7, 4, 2. If he goes 4, then it's exactly 6 plus a Veil. So that wouldn't make any sense. So I think we're gonna let the Karn resolve, then see what he does. If he just brings in the bridge, So, alright, goes with the bridge. Now let's see what he does. Because now, if he goes Veil of Summer, then he... The problem is that, yeah, with the Veil here, if I let it resolve, it's just gonna last until end of turn, which is just absolutely insane. And if he does have a big Karn as a backup here, then our Aventin is just gone. It's just horrendous. Seriously, like... Veil of Summer. He's looking for another Veil here. She apparently didn't find. So what do you have, opponent? Okay. So I think we need to go... Do we need to go after the Karn? Aventin probably goes after his ass, because then we get like that plus a land. Let's put this on the bottom. If we draw a... Okay. Yeah, I think just gonna go after Karn here. If we had drawn another Lightning Helix or a Bolt, then the game would have been over. Yeah. Let's scare him a little. I mean, Oblivion Stone obviously isn't the best for us. On the other hand, though, just one Snapcaster Mage would already do it. Yeah. So he has at least got one more Veil of Summer in his deck. Don't care. Bondservant's crying. Nurturing Peatland, sure. Which means he probably doesn't have a whole lot going on in his hand. He has land, he hasn't played a land yet, right? Another Veil. So that's 6, 8, 9. Get 11. I could keep up. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hello. 8, 9. Let's go with the Beto. So if he's got another Veil somewhere here, then we have a backup counterspell. Don't care for another Soul's Crime. I know you already played the Beatland, of course. Alright. I think we're gonna attack here. Are we? Oh, fuck. No, we're gonna wait for a Snapcaster. We know he has 2 cards in hand, probably both lands. One of them is a Blast Zone. And we're gonna wait for either Snapcaster or a burn spell so that we can kill him on our turn. Alright, Sphinx of Revelation should be good enough. And he also still needs to win. He wants to put it up to 5. What is he expecting here? Alright, just another Sylvan Scrying, which I do not mind at all. This will give us the opportunity to draw 3 and hopefully 2 burn spells, or a land and a burn spell would also be enough. No land, but a Snapcaster Mage, which is also good. Alright, I would say let's do it right now. We do have Spell Queller as a backup. And therefore, I am not too worried. GG's. I got Tron. Draw card, draw card. Alright. And obviously, by printing both Veil of Summer, Ren 6, and Lavador, you basically not only kill the tribal decks, which Plague Engineer I think is a well-designed card, because it comes down at, you know, turn 3, the earliest, and your opponent can prepare against it. They can either name it with Meddling Mage or whatever, but being on the play or being on the draw against someone who's playing Ren 6 or who's playing Lavador, like, you never get your foot onto the battlefield or on the ground, and that's what really sucks. So our opponent is mulliganing furiously already. Probably a Hogak deck. Or we're meeting Tron again, which at that point I would probably kill myself. Definitely not something I want to see here. But at that point, it's pretty good that the meta is so aggressive and that all the Tron players get basically pushed out of the meta by friends in mono red. Well, what is these? Oh yeah, by the way, I made one crucial change here. Probably should have kept the mountain on top. I actually put in more basic lands again. Didn't want to have the mountain because of the cryptic, but that is that. Yeah. Oh god, who would have thought? Alright, so Spell Queller probably pretty good here. I put it into the deck just for this matchup. Also Snapcaster and Path to Exile also right. Most Hoaglis run 2 swamps, so that could be alright as well. And then if we have a look at our sideboard, we have Anger, Detention Sphere, Rest in Peace, Celestial Purge, and Timely Reinforcement, plus Spell Queller. Gravecrawler. Let's race. Sure. The ever strong Benchvine coming along and going away. So it's down to 13. By now I think I'm just gonna try to burn. We're putting him down to 8, and then we go Snap, Helix, Colonnade, Cryptic, which should be enough. Our opponent sees the writing on the wall that he won't be winning this by racing. Lilith Troll also won't be helping, although one has to say whatever card he's still got in hand. So you can regenerate Lilith Troll. Therefore, like if we were to draw land, then we have lethal, but we also have lethal if I just path the troll, which will give us the opportunity to, if we don't draw a land, we can just hit them twice with auto creatures. Apparently our opponents either just... Could we lose here? Nah. Because for all purposes, our opponent would have to have a field push. Alright. Cool. So this is coming in. This is coming in. What do we not want to have? So Absorb is probably still an alright card here to just gain us 3 life in between. So I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna get rid of most of our. Okay. Gotta rethink this. Okay, absorb's gonna go. Sphinx Revelation on the draw is gonna go. If we make it there, then we're potentially good. What else? Avansin can still provide us with a very good turn. And I could see like cutting one snap, one helix, or not. No, let's go like this. I want to have the spell callers because they block well. And the Snapcaster Mage obviously also becomes worse. Yeah, I think we could keep this. So we somehow have to make it to turn 3. Which is actually a pretty steep task. There we go. Then find Black Cast. Yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. So there are 2 cards that we don't want to see. One is Carrion Feeder. That I'm alright with, which means this one goes to the bottom. Yeah. Okay. So he could have a Hogak here. He does have another creature. To play. Then we would get rid of the Vengevine, but that wouldn't matter, of course, unless we draw a quick Path to Exile. Yeah, but I don't see, like... Carrion Feeder is a problem. And him pausing here... He's gonna sacrifice, yeah. And now Hogak's coming along. Shit. And that also triggers Vengevine, of course. And we're dead next turn. Like, we're literally dead. Would have been dead next turn. And Carrion Feeder also provides him with the means to just sack the Hogak so he can replay it again. my life. Carrion Feeder also just a great card from Mon Horizons. One of the many very balanced printings that our modern R&D has figured was good for the format. Alright, so usually we would like to fetch for a dual land here, but can't do that right now, and we also need access to red source, so let's hope he's too stupid. I want to say well played, opponent. Well played. It's one of the many intricacies of this deck. Figuring out the exact moment. Ah, come on. This is over. Alright, cool. Cool. I'm quite alright with the lineup though, so we're gonna run back. Just see where it gets us. Yep, we would like to play first. Nope. Also not a great hand. So here... Shit. Need to get rid of 2 cards. So either we get rid of the opt and try to maintain. I think Island's gonna go. We probably need a line bolt for or against a Carrion Feeder when that comes down. So opt's gonna go. And obviously I want to have 2 fetch lands for a potential turn 3 anger. So I think our opponent's deciding on whether or not he wants to play a Thoughtseize here. Yeah, let's just do that. Looting on innate. Looting. And usually, our opponent playing looting here, you would expect that he's not gonna be able to play turn 2 Hogak, but nonetheless, without playing anything prior to the looting on turn 2, you can just ditch a Bloodghast, play land, creature, and have Hogak in play. Well, non-fetch land, of course, doesn't do it. With the fetch land, he would be 1 mana short. Yeah, I knew that he had the Thoughtseize that he was already thinking about game 1. I guess he's gonna take our Timeless again. D-Sphere is something for a later stage of the game, but he probably also maintains something like Force of Vigor or Nature's Claim. So now Anger of the Gods would be really, really good. Oh, it would be so juicy here. Oh, there's Hogak. Never mind, people, never mind, there's Hogak. Anger would still be pretty juicy. Oh my goodness. I think it's enough. We're just gonna go. So he has a Force of Vigor. Oops. Then we might not even get to the next turn. I think I'm gonna go after the Dried Ava here. That only saves us from 1 life, but that's a non-recurable threat / mana dork. Really need an Anger here. Well, if he does have Nature's Claim, then we're done for good anyway. Otherwise, we might have bought us another turn. We shall see. But this looks like a Nature's Claim, yeah. Alright. We'll wait 1 more turn, but then it's over. Overall, though, I think Detention Spheres is pretty good for the matchup. Don't even know what could save us here. Like, Snapcaster wouldn't do it. Snapcaster could potentially do it. if we were to flashback the timely reinforcements. I think we just lost internet connection. Just a second. Alright, we're back. And I timed out. And due to a severe internet connection here. Alright, back to round number 3 here. With the Jeskai control. Whoops. Being on 9 gag in between. Ravnica is on fire. That's correct. So since we have a double spell turn 2, I'm leading with Colonnades here. Also to see what our opponent does. But, I mean, people aren't playing creatures anyway, so. What is these? Inquisition, my goodness. So fair. So it could be mounted Pyromancer. Could also be some wanky stuff with going after our Snapcaster mages. Interesting. Could also be some wanky stuff with Unearth. Or potentially Mardu Death Shadow. Which I think is a pretty cool deck to have emerged. Oh, but it looks like it could also just be Jund. Which should actually be a pretty good test for us, despite the fact that Spellqueller in this matchup certainly isn't the best. Well, let's put that to the bottom. Absorb, sure. Liliana of the Veil. I don't believe it. Alright. So I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna bring in Rest in Peace post board because I want to fuck with both Red and 6 and Tormgoyf. Celestial Purge, also a pretty good card. Can also deal with probably the only card in Modern that can actually deal with Red and 6 on turn 2. Noxious Grasp is also there, or Noxious something. So now we do have a decision. Either we're gonna go with a Spellqueller, which probably will just get killed at some point. So yeah, we're gonna go with the Logic Knot instead. Because like catching removal spells with Spellqueller here in this matchup is probably a little better than going for a big fat Planeswalker that you then have to counter again. So our opponent's stuck on 3 lands, and that's definitely I could see us Spellquellering this. Oh, let's try it. Don't think that it will resolve. Well, it will resolve, of course, but survive it won't. And it's also possible that our opponent instead does have some sort of fail push stuff going on in hand, or just something like Abrupt Decay slash Assassin's Trophy. And there we go. This is actually pretty alright. Still gonna cast it, sure. So I would like to opt. Sadly, it didn't. The triggers didn't stack the other way around. Otherwise, we could have just recountered it. But anyhow, do we want to have another land? I think yes. Both because of Colonnade and because Snap Absorb potentially and Abenson. So I hope that our opponent's coming along with a Bloodbraid Elf here. So he's tapped out, and then he's gonna run in first, head first into our Abenson together with Termgarth. A land, already a little bit unlucky. Alright, 9 out of 10. Thoughtseize. Well, Thoughtseize. Something that I don't actually want to see, so we're gonna go counter bounce here. And then see if he does want to run into it. Oh well, shit. Shouldn't have tapped this second red source. That was my bad. Although I'm also willing to trade off here. Don't really mind that. Yeah. That is alright. Is it though? No, you know what? We're taking the race. This is slightly less mana efficient than I anticipated. But that's alright. We have 9 damage in hand. Plus anything that he himself does. Another Bloodbraid. Okay. A Lightning Bolt. So are we going to race, or are you going to point it at our Snapcaster Mage? Because if you're going to point it at our Snap, then I might be inclined to bring in our Abenson. And yeah, sure. I could have also... No, I couldn't have. Abenson needs to see the creature die. Therefore, that doesn't work. So now we're in the situation where he can't attack. We will attack him. He needs to let us pass with both, and otherwise Abenson triggers, and then he dies to Helix and Bolt. That's the case. Well, now it's irrelevant anyway. That's kind of risky. So we can do it in a cool way. Like we could kill our own Snapcaster Mage to trigger our Aventon. But that might be just be playing around a little bit too much. Yep, I like it. Alright, so on the draw, I'm not gonna bring in. I think I want to take out all the spell clutters here. D-Sphere seems alright. And then we gotta decide on whether or not I think we're trying it this way first. Prohibit is pretty good. It's basically anything but Liliana. Well, also it's Liliana, but Liliana and Bloodbraid add disparity or parity. Yeah, I think we're gonna run it this way. It's possible that our opponent is bringing in Fulminator Mages. And no turn 1 play probably means there is indeed. Ren 6 coming. Interesting. I mean, I don't expect him to take the opt, therefore I'm actually not gonna play it here. Shouldn't have shot. But if he takes the opt here, I'm fine with that. So at least no turn 2 Ren 6, which is decent for us. Well, okay. Apparently our opponent kept the strongest hand in the world, but no lands. I actually don't want to have a Snapcaster. I want to have a Counterspell. I was going to say. Because we're still playing 8. Yeah, we're gonna shock this one here just to pretend having a Counterspell. Shit. There we go. A Goyf. Is he even playing Ren 6? Why would you keep a 1-lander without a Ren 6? But okay. We're drawing way too many lands here. Without a Ren 6, the basic mountain is, I think, very bad for our opponent. Alright, now we gotta go after it. But we're trading at least even here. It's also possible that he's just trying to protect his Renin 6 to an extensive amount here. That would also be awkward. So, thank you. At least a non-land card. Cryptic Command or another counterspell would have definitely been better, but that's alright. So it's also possible that our opponent is still hoping to somehow stifle us with Fulminator Mages. Sure. So I'm gonna maintain the Lightning Helix in hand, just in case we need to discard something. Because I probably need the island. And then he must have something like an Assassin's Trophy to get rid of our Archangel. Yeah. We have another guy here. Can we erase him? Fuck. Alright, this is a big problem. One that I need to address. Because on the battlefield we won't be... Okay. As without a counterspell there, we definitely lose. Discard an Ashok. That's interesting as well. There's Renin 6. So he's playing Renin 6, indeed. We shall see. We'll try to block his Tarmogoyf with Avansin, and so far that Liliana doesn't tick. Alright, now we gotta let it go. Take 5. Let's see. If he does have an Assassin's Trophy as a lost card in hand, then we're done anyway. Otherwise, we could be drawing a path, a land. So if we're drawing a land here, but we're dead to a bull, then but we would be anyway, right? So we're gonna attack Liliana. Lost Cardinal is neither a bold nor an assassin's trophy. So we could, doesn't make a difference. Yeah, that's probably it. All right, I'm gonna bring in one recipes. Opponent keeps, so we're two cards down. I think I'm gonna pitch the cryptic command here first, because we probably need a lot of early game interaction. So if you place Ren in 6, we could go Lightning Helix, the 6. Yeah. Otherwise, if this is just a Goith, then we can actually kill it with one of our spells here, but this time it's going to be a Ren 6. Collective Brutality. Sure. Don't think that's a card that you actually want to be boarding, but that's alright. Ah, damn it. Too early. I went in too early. So could be running into a Fulminator Mage here. Maybe we should have kept up the Flooded Strand. Yep, thought so. Obviously going after our Steamens. But for that to be the case, like, I'm gonna go Snapcaster Bolt here. And then he can do whatever he wants. Oh, so strong. So well played, opponent. Oh, come on. Why couldn't we draw these in the opposite order? And we would have been actually pretty good. another tapped land. We're not being chased by luck here. Opponent's already sacrificing his own lands. Alright, so sorry, I had to do a couple of other things on the side. We just won the match against John here. He played another Fulminator Mage. We were back down on 2 lands. Then I peeled a path. He's tried to Assassin's Trophy my lands, but then in the end he had to Assassin's Trophy a Snapcaster Mage, which gave me enough mana. Then we would have drawn this card and then this card, and that would have led us to either Lightning Bolt or a Celestial Purge. So next turn it would have been over this way or that way, and yeah, pretty good. So I'll do some other stuff and then I'll be back with round number 4. Alright, let's go for round number 4. Young G. So we're gonna keep, and up until now this has been an exciting and also very interactive for the most part league. Very unusual. Ah, there we go. I was already missing it. I was missing it already. Alright, so what do we want to do here? We do have a path, but we don't want a path on turn 1 unless our opponent is bringing in a turn 2 Eidolon. And the Scalding Torrent should... He's attacking, alright. That is alright. Alright. That puts us into a little bit of a pickle. So on the one hand, I'd like to not fetch shock here. No, it's fine. So I've seen lists running Skullcrack main again, therefore we're just gonna kill the Eidolon here because I really want to have the life gain back. And then next turn we can path the Grim Lavamancer. Oh, fuck you. Never mind. Then we go with the Prohibit. Alright, attacking with both, which I hoped. So we're getting 3. The Grim Lavamancer by now is also good for 3 damage, so it's just a usual lava spike. Up until now. So we're also not extremely bad there. Now we can opt and hopefully go find another land. Either fetch land or an untapped source. Sure, Boros Charm, go ahead. Right. We're gonna do it because we're gaining 1 life. It's pretty aggressive, but I don't want to have the Lava Mesa being untapped. And this way we're still pretty alright, and then have 2 counter spells up next turn. Right, he was a little lucky, he got an Irid Mesa if he does have a Searing Blaze as well. Not the Boros Charm, yeah, I would have kept that hand as well. 2 Eidolons, 2 Boros Charms, and Lightning Bolt. Doesn't sound too bad. So him playing Goblin Guide here allows us to actually go Bolt Snap Bolt, which is why I will let it resolve and also hope that it will. Right, a Spell Queller is also alright. Because now we put him down to 9 next turn, and then we have a 2 to 3 turn clock. Never mind. That one was pretty good. Actually, now I should have opted here, I think, to find another land. Whatever he still has in hand, he's going to try to bring it right now. Good that we still have a Logic Knot. And now we should be good, unless he has some weird exquisite firecraft. Now you know what. Arrivederci. You know what I always loved, like playing Assassin's Creed? How Enzio always says in Requiem Pace, which I liked. Alright, so I'm taking out the pass because we do play a lot of removal spells, and overall I think Avancine can also remain in the board because a good blocker has vigilance, checks all the boxes basically, and if we can get through the first 2 or 3 turns, I think, without being stranded on mana, I think, well, our opening hands are always so insanely bad. Unreal. Lava spiking us, sure. it's a reasonable choice to actually cut cantrips against burn. And I'm not gonna go with the opt here just yet, just to save a little bit of life. That would be a reasonable counter, but I want to have white souls and I want to have double blue. Okay. I swear to God, like, we're the worst draws in the world. It's so insane. So insane. Absorb has the perk, like, if he does have 3/1 mana spells, we're dead here. Potentially, but... so I was gonna say... again. So Skullcrag main here seems like our opponent might be counting on School of the Critics. This is not real, man. This can't be real. Fuck you. We even mulliganed, and there's gonna be a School of the Critics. I hate this shit. Mulliganed, opt, nothing. We literally only need 3 mana for this deck to be at full capacity. Now we're gonna keep. I don't mind anymore. Drawing so many lands. Opt. How great. That's gonna be an Eidolon, which will meet our Celestial Purge. And in this case, actually, I would like to maintain opt, or just cast it ASAP. Swift Spear is annoying. It doesn't make sense for us to absorb here. Snapcaster Mage. So let's purge. Go ahead. He's not doing anything. So we're gonna go after Eidolon. And this makes me worried. Why wouldn't he have been playing anything there? No clue. No clue. So we could absorb here. Going down to 10. Well, it's possible for him to kill us with that, I guess. But what's worse? I think we need to kill the Monastery Swiftbear. Yeah, this is probably not going to be good enough. I think we're crypticking. Counter tap. Because we can't have a Swiftbear running around unchecked. Dovin's Veto is actually pretty alright. And I think if he goes end of turn, alright, he just cracks the Sunbaked Canyon. So if we just take one here, I'm willing to let it resolve. What's the worst thing that could happen? Can he kill us? We need to have at least 3 1-mana spells plus a Boris Charm. And that is possible but unlikely. Alright, so he's going for us anyway. Okay, so now we've to a certain degree stabilized. Not just yet, but we are getting closer. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, we can play everything. And we have a cryptic command as well. I would like to have a threat, definitely would. But I'm not willing to go with Colonnade here because that could just spell our death, even through a counterspell. Alright, so here we're actually trading 7 life. which is pretty neat. Now we're basically drawing way too many lands here. That's alright. Especially with the bolt. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably want to have some with bolt. 2, yeah, that's good. He only has 2 cards in hand. One I would put on to being a land. Now this is interesting. If we let him attack us, then get back with a colonnade end of turn, go lightning helix him. I think we could have lethal here, right? Like if we make him, if we go up to 12, go down to 10. If he doesn't have, like if he has a lightning helix as well, but he already played 2. Yeah, I think so. We're taking 6 here. Can make 3. Or is that too risky? If he plays 3 spells, then we're basically because we put him down to 5, and then he can play 1 more spell, and on the stack we can respond with lightning bolt, and then every next spell kills him. Does that make sense? I think we're gonna do it now. Because he can cast only 2 spells, right? So he can never, but we can always respond with 2. And I think that's alright. Because the first spell is always just not gonna do anything. So we let that resolve. Now we go with the bolt. He can only play 1 more spell and we can counter it. Yeah, he needs to have a lightning helix here. Cancel, let that resolve, sure. Yeah. That was pretty neat. GG's. So off to the last round here. Does I? Let's keep. Not the best of hands, but and if our opponent's playing blue-white, then we have a horrible hand, just a straight-up horrible hand. Yeah, it appears to be blue-white indeed. And of course, we're just drawing basic lands here. The good thing is, I put in 2 more basic lands exactly for that reason. So we shouldn't be having too much trouble with that anytime soon. So our opponent seemed to think about playing a Snapcaster Mage there. Kind of makes me wonder what he's actually up to. Field of Ruin. Hopefully he's going after our Steam Vents, because we need double white. And I don't want to be fetching non-blue cards. We could, of course, also just be playing Avancin here in response to the Field of Ruin, which he certainly wouldn't be able to counter. But he seems to be willing to not go for non-colonnade lands anyway. So with 5 lands, could be trying to force an Avancin here. And the reason for that, yeah, I'm gonna try it because it's very unlikely that Avancin lives this way or that way. But he might be inclined to, okay, use one of his bad counters. Spell Queller is actually also. Okay, 3 more basics in our library, which is not too much anymore. Sure. Snapcaster Mage itself basically doesn't do anything. It's gonna get knocked, sure. But other than that, That's all right. So you put a card to the bottom. Don't really have any good plays here. Couple counter spell, sure. Alright, now he's using it. Interesting. Like, he could be trying to cryptic in response. Otherwise, like this way, he can probably just we got one mountain left in our deck. And now he's gotten rid of a couple of fields already that would have usually been gunning for our manlands. That's weird. Like, it's entirely possible that our opponent doesn't either have no removal whatsoever, and apparently also doesn't have too much other stuff going on anymore. Actually, I think I'm gonna go with prohibit plus trigger. And then he would have to have either force of negation plus 2 mana counter, which is possible but not probable. Again, don't really care about the Snapcaster. Actually, I did a misplay there. I shouldn't have countered his counter with my logic knot, but played around a spell snare and targeted in the Jace. So I'm expecting him to try to force through another Planeswalker. So Narset is definitely a problem. Normally I would always let it resolve, but in this case we probably can't. So we're gonna do something that they need to counter. Yeah, and that will probably prevent them from playing another Planeswalker here, which then will be alright. Spell Snare. Alright. So we're gonna hit an Narset for 1. So he's got a Spell Snare, counter draw. Probably also has shit. Well, that's actually a big problem. Can't believe it. Cannot believe it. So I think we're gonna go after Narset here. Then his turn, I'll keep Opt. Fuck you, where are all fucking lightning bolts, man? Went through half of our deck. No lightning bolts, 1 lightning helix. Seven hits. Fuck. Yeah, no, it's very, very, very unlikely that we're gonna get basically anything through here. Unreal. Unfucking real. Unreal. It's so bad. Is this a fucking joke? Alright. Our opponent took a mulligan. Actually, shouldn't have passed the turn here. I'm inclined to just play the Snapcaster Mage. And now we might be running into a Spell Snare. Or not. Now we need to play the Foundry to have access to Absorb. And I kind of hope that our opponent plays like a Narset with a Spell Snare backup. Gaia Reach. Alright, so he's actually trying to lock us. Interesting. Interesting. And apparently also unwilling to kill our Snapcaster. Which is kind of fine by me. Where I get 6 damage in. Veto actually very important here. Despite the fact that we can't cast Veto and something else. Oh, Force of Negation with a Narset. Well, that is alright. That is desperation, friend. Could be another Narset here coming. Nah, just a Jace. Go home, Jace. Another Veto. Good pickup. I'm like, does he have another Snapcaster? This Narset. He definitely does have a counterspell. We already know that. And the Gaia Reach is what really might become problematic. Since he can just lock us then. So we go Snap. Well, Snap Veto might actually be better. Yeah. That land might be important. It's just plain island, yes. All right, let's see. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, that's a thing that we could do. D-Sphere. Yeah, that's probably not the best card against us. So our opponent's 1 mana ahead of us right now. I'm kind of unwilling to... Okay, so parity again. Monstrumento. That is interesting. So I believe we're gonna go with an absorb here to kick things off. And then we still have like a Snapcaster Mage or a Cryptic Command as a backup. And then we could just come along. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. We need another blue source actually. Still. How is it that our opponent actually got more cards in hand than us? Spell Queller. Alright, let's try it out here. Interesting. Kind of want to let that resolve because it's actually not as important for us. So Lightning Helix. Alright. Now it's time to make a move. Alright. So we wouldn't have gotten that one through anyway. Therefore, I'm quite fine with that. Hmm. Our counter spells are a little expensive here. A little bit on the expensive side of things. One, two, 3. Still trying to counter this. Now we have bold detention sphere as a backup. Alright, absorb is gonna go. Mana leak. Okay. See, and this is a little weird, mate. This is weird. So I'm thinking about like still going after the Swift, the Monastery bloop bloop bloop, and then utilizing the detention sphere to get rid of all the monks. So this was still a decent trade. Basically, he traded 4 for 3, and he's got 2 monks. And with the spell queller, I don't even bother. The only real problem here is that we somehow need to get past his colonnades, and I kind of got rid of most of our stuff. Yep. If we make it to game 3, I need to oh, that's actually pretty alright. Need to tick down, then the colonnade can come around. So our counter spell is going to be countered anyway. Never mind. I forgot about Chandra, of course. Now he's racing us, and that is certainly a fine proposal. But we just basically need a one lightning helix, which we still have two. Or Snapcaster Mage would also be alright. The only thing that's not allowed to happen is for him to have a counterspell and go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. He's trying to get lethal together here, and that might actually be a problem. This is bad. Had a disdainful stroke in hand. Shit. Yeah. Alright, good games, opponent. Got a little unlucky there. Overall, a fine league though. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you around next time.